Jackie Chan was born on the 7th of April 1954 in Hong Kong. His parents, Charles and Lily Chan, worked very simple jobs at the French consulate. They lived in a very small room, and money was always tight. From the beginning, life was difficult. Jackie remembered hunger, fear, and long nights when he did not know why life felt so heavy. His parents tried their best, but they struggled because Hong Kong at that time was full of political and social problems, and work was not stable. They could not always provide a comfortable life, and this reality shaped Jackie from a very young age. By the time he was 7, his parents made a painful decision. They moved to Australia to look for work, hoping to build a better future. But they had no way to take Jackie with them. They left him in Hong Kong and placed him in the China Drama Academy, a Peking opera school led by Master Yu Jim Yuen. They believed he would receive discipline, training, and food, something they could not fully give him. But they did not know how harsh the school really was. For Jackie, this was the moment childhood ended. Life inside the school was extremely difficult. The training was strict, and the rules were very hard. Students woke up early in the morning and trained for 14 to 16 hours every day. They learned acrobatics, martial arts, weapons, singing, and acting. Every mistake brought punishment, sometimes through beatings. Jackie often cried quietly at night, but had no one to comfort him. Comfort simply did not exist there. He slept on wooden floors and learned to ignore the pain because there was no other option. The teachers were strict, and there was no softness or emotional support. Everything was built around discipline and survival. The goal of the school was to produce performers, not to protect children. So, Jackie learned to push his limits, even when it hurt. He learned to stand straight when he wanted to collapse, and to smile even when he felt lonely. Many nights, he cried softly, but when morning came, he wiped his tears and trained again. He learned early that no one would come to save him. If he wanted to survive, he had to keep going. With time, Jackie became part of a group called the 7 Little Fortunes. This was a small team of young performers trained by Master Yu. They performed on stage, doing acrobatics, martial arts routines, and short drama pieces. Jackie began to show natural talent. Even as a child, he had a special sense of timing. The audience often laughed during his performances, not because he tried to be funny, but because he moved in ways that made people enjoy watching him. Without realizing it, he was developing instincts for physical comedy that would later shape his entire career. The school was harsh, but it taught him skills he could not have learned anywhere else. The long hours of practice made him flexible, fast, and extremely strong for his age. He learned how to move smoothly, how to fall safely, and how to perform with confidence. More importantly, he learned how to use his body as a tool for communication. These skills would become the foundation of his future in movies, even though he did not know it then. He also learned to obey, to endure pain without complaint, and to respect discipline above everything else. Every day, he pushed his limits. He repeated movements hundreds of times until they became natural. He practiced flips, kicks, and handstands until his body responded without thinking. Pain became normal, and discipline became a habit. Slowly, the fear he felt as a small boy started turning into resilience. He learned that if he kept standing after every fall, nothing could completely defeat him. His classmates became like brothers. They encouraged each other, even though all of them were struggling. Living together in such difficult conditions created strong bonds. Jackie did not have his parents, but he had the other boys, and together they learned how to survive the tough world of the academy. Sometimes they shared food, sometimes they laughed during breaks, trying to forget the pain for a moment. In this environment, Jackie learned loyalty, teamwork, and respect values that stayed with him all his life. Performing on stage taught him how to face crowds without fear. Every clap from the audience reminded him that his effort mattered. Although the school was strict, performing showed him a new possibility. He began to understand that he had something special, something that could help him build a different life. Even though he did not have love or comfort, he had talent. And sometimes, talent was the only thing he could rely on. As Jackie grew older, he became one of the best students in the academy. Master Yu saw potential in him, not just in skills, but in spirit. Jackie did not give up easily. He listened, he practiced, and he endured. When other children struggled to continue, Jackie kept pushing. This attitude impressed his teachers and prepared him for the unpredictable journey ahead. These early years formed the base of his personality. The pain taught him strength. The discipline taught him patience. The loneliness taught him independence. Jackie's ability to take risks, to perform dangerous stunts, and to work harder than anyone else all came from these childhood experiences. His work ethic was born in the academy, shaped by the belief that the only way to survive was to keep moving forward, no matter how difficult life became. He entered that school as a scared child, but he left as someone who knew how to fight through challenges. The school gave him skills that later made him a global star, but it also left deep marks on his heart. He learned to smile on stage even when he felt pain inside. He learned to work endlessly, even when he wanted to rest. These habits stayed with him forever, but the boy who could flip on stage would soon be forced to flip for survival alone, hungry, and unseen in the streets of Hong Kong. When Jackie left the China Drama Academy at the age of 17, he stepped into a world he was not ready for. He had no home, no money, and no family nearby. His parents were still in Australia, and he did not have the courage or money to reach out to them. The only place he knew was Hong Kong, but Hong Kong had no place for someone like him, a boy with strong skills, but no education, no savings, and no plan. He walked out of the academy with a small bag and nothing else. Life outside hit him faster than he expected. He slept wherever he could. Sometimes it was under a small awning on the sidewalk, sometimes inside a theater after everyone had left and the staff had gone home. At other times, he stayed on a friend's floor for a night or two, never sure where he would be the next day. These nights were long and cold, and he realized quickly that surviving on the streets was much harder than surviving the academy. To earn money, Jackie took any job he could find. He carried heavy bricks at construction sites, washed dishes in tiny restaurants, cleaned tables, and did dirty tasks no one else wanted. These jobs paid very little, often just enough for one simple meal. Sometimes he did not even earn that. His hands were always tired, his back hurt, and his stomach stayed empty most days. He worked every single day not to build a future, but simply to stay alive. One day, after hours of carrying cement bags under the sun, Jackie was starving. He walked to a small food stall and asked if he could buy something cheap. The owner refused to give credit. Jackie then asked if he could have leftovers. The man threw the food on the ground and told him to take it or leave it. Jackie bent down, picked up what he could, and ate quietly. He said later that he did not even cry, because crying needed energy he didn't have. That moment stayed with him forever. It was the lowest point he had faced so far, and it made him stronger in a strange way. Many evenings, Jackie wandered the busy streets of Kowloon with an empty stomach. He looked at people eating, laughing, and going home to their families, while he walked alone with no clear tomorrow. These experiences shaped him deeply. They showed him that the world would not slow down for him. If he wanted a place in it, he had to fight harder than he ever had. His life changed one night when he saw something unusual. Near a street corner, a film crew was shooting a stunt scene. Bright lights, a few actors, and a stuntman preparing to fall through a table. Jackie watched from a distance, almost confused at first. Then, when the stuntman jumped and crashed through the table, something clicked inside him. He recognized the movement, the technique, the way the stuntman prepared his body. It reminded him of the training from the opera school, and for the first time in a long time, he felt something like hope. He whispered to himself, "I can do that." Within weeks, Jackie somehow found his way onto a film set. He was hired as a stuntman, just another body to be thrown around. Nobody knew his name, and he didn't expect them to. He only cared about one thing: getting called back again. The work was painful, dangerous, and unpredictable, but it paid more than washing dishes. That was enough for him. His first major moment as a stuntman happened on the set of Fist of Fury in 1972. Bruce Lee was the biggest star in Asia at that time. In one scene, Bruce Lee had to throw Jackie across a table. Bruce threw him with so much force that Jackie landed badly and cracked his ribs. Jackie lay there in pain, but when Bruce came over and asked if he was okay, Jackie smiled. It was the first time someone in the film industry had shown concern for him. That tiny gesture stayed in his heart. Jackie soon learned an important truth. The film world respected people who could take pain, follow instructions, and work without fear. And Jackie could do all three better than most. His background in opera school made him flexible, fast, and fearless. Directors began recognizing his dedication, and he slowly became a reliable stunt performer. But things changed quickly after Bruce Lee's sudden death in 1973. Hong Kong cinema lost its biggest star, and the industry went into chaos. Producers desperately tried to find a new Bruce Lee, and Jackie was pushed into that mold. They made him wear similar clothes, act in similar poses, and fight like Bruce. But Bruce Lee's style did not match Jackie's personality. Jackie did not want to copy anyone, and the audience did not want an imitation. Most of the movies he starred in during this time failed badly. Some were barely watched. Critics mocked him, calling him clumsy or not serious enough. Each failure made Jackie feel more lost. The rejection hurt him more than the stunts. He felt he had no identity. He knew he was good at many things, yet none of it seemed enough. He struggled emotionally and financially. There were days when he did not even have money for food. All the hard work, the training, the pain, none of it seemed to lead anywhere. At one point, Jackie seriously thought about quitting the film industry completely, but he also knew he had no special education or skills outside performing. He had no family support. There was nowhere else to go. Despite all the failures, something inside him refused to give up. He continued taking stunt work, even the most dangerous ones, because he needed the money and the chance to stay in the industry. He told himself that if he kept working, something good might happen. But life was about to test him in a way he did not expect. Until one fall, a devastating fall, nearly ends his life, yet secretly plants the seed for the legend he would become. Jackie's life changed during one stunt that almost ended everything. He was performing a scene that required him to fall from a height of about 25 feet. He had done many dangerous movements before, so he trusted his body and experience. But this time, something went wrong. He fell hard, hit his head, and lost consciousness immediately. He did not feel the ground. He did not feel pain. He simply blacked out. When he opened his eyes again, he was lying alone on the empty set. The crew had already left. There were no voices, no footsteps, no one calling his name. That moment hit him deeply. He realized that in the film world, he was not important yet. If he had died, the work would continue the next day without him. He was replaceable. That realization stayed with him and changed how he saw himself. After recovering from that fall, Jackie made a firm decision. He stopped trying to be the next Bruce Lee. He understood that copying someone else would never make him stand out. He was not Bruce. He was not a calm, deadly, silent fighter. He was different. His strengths were in timing, speed, facial expressions, and humor. He decided he would create his own path, a style that mixed fighting with personality, risk with laughter, and danger with creativity. He wanted to show something new, something honest to who he really was. At this turning point, Willie Chan entered his life. Willie was a manager who watched one of Jackie's old, failed films. But instead of seeing failure, Willie saw something deeper. He noticed the spark in Jackie's movements, the natural charm behind his expressions, and the unique rhythm of his body. He believed Jackie had something no other actor had. Willie reached out and offered to guide him, and Jackie accepted. This partnership became one of the most important relationships of his career. Willie helped open doors, protect him, and push him into roles that matched his talent. With Willie's support, Jackie got the chance to film Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. For the first time, Jackie was allowed to express his real personality. He used humor while fighting, made mistakes on purpose, slipped, fell, and recovered in a funny yet skillful way. This mix of kung fu and comedy clicked instantly with audiences. People laughed not because he was a clown, but because he was human. He fought like someone who struggled, who felt pain, who did not always win cleanly. Viewers connected with him because he seemed real. For Jackie, hearing the audience laugh felt like breathing fresh air after years of suffocating. It reminded him of the joy he once felt as a child performing on stage. Then came Drunken Master in 1978, the film that changed everything. Jackie played a character who used a drunken fighting style that mixed unpredictable movements with powerful martial arts techniques. The movie became a huge hit and broke records across Asia. Jackie was no longer a failed imitator. He was now a national hero, a fresh face in the action world, someone who brought a new style of storytelling to the screen. He finally felt seen, not as a copy of someone else, but as himself. After this success, Jackie formed his own stunt team. He wanted people around him who trained the same way he did, who understood his approach, and who trusted each other completely. With his team, he pushed stunt work further than anyone had before. He insisted on doing real stunts, real falls, and real hits. He believed that the audience could feel the difference between something genuine and something fake. His philosophy grew simple and strong. Pain made the action honest, danger made the story believable, and humor made the experience enjoyable. He grew his new style from his opera school days. All those years of acrobatics, discipline, stretching, balancing, timing, and group coordination became the backbone of his work. The opera school had taught him how to use his entire body to express emotion. It taught him rhythm, flow, and endurance. It taught him how to land safely and how to get up quickly. Without that training, he would never have been able to build the unique action comedy style that brought him global fame. Jackie also changed how fight scenes were filmed. In older films, action scenes were sharp and serious. Jackie introduced longer takes, complicated choreography, and fights that included everyday objects like ladders, chairs, and umbrellas. He found joy in turning simple items into tools for action. He wanted audiences to feel excitement, but also to smile. He believed that action should entertain, not just impress. This thinking led to a revolution in Hong Kong cinema. Many younger actors and directors began copying his style, and Jackie became the foundation of modern action comedy. His creative ideas came not from theory, but from survival. He knew pain better than most. He knew hardship. He knew what it felt like to fall and rise again. So, he brought that real-life experience into his movies. He understood that people liked heroes who looked human, heroes who struggled, heroes who made mistakes, but still won in the end. Jackie became that kind of hero, and millions admired him for it. Even though his career was rising, new challenges were waiting. Success brought pressure, expectations, and constant risk. The industry depended on his ability to deliver something new each time. Jackie pushed himself harder and harder. He took more risks, performed more dangerous stunts, and continued to raise the bar. But life was about to test him again in a way he never imagined. But as he rose higher, the world beneath him grew darker, and one day a branch snapped, and time itself almost stopped. Jackie's most serious injury happened in 1986 while filming Armor of God. He had to jump from a wall onto a tree branch. It looked simple compared to other stunts he had done, but this time the branch snapped. Jackie fell backward and hit his head on a rock. He was knocked out immediately. The impact fractured his skull. A piece of bone pushed into his brain. Doctors performed emergency surgery and inserted a metal plate to replace the damaged part of his skull. The doctor later told him that if the plate had gone even half an inch deeper, he would have died on the spot. Jackie also lost some hearing in his right ear, a problem that never fully healed. The fall changed his body forever. Most people would have taken months to recover, but Jackie returned to the set just 7 days later. His balance was weak. He felt dizzy often, and his head hurt constantly, but he refused to stop. Many people called him brave. In truth, it was not bravery. It was obsession. He felt responsible for the movie and the crew. He feared that slowing down would damage his career, so he kept working, even though his body needed rest. It became a pattern for him. No matter how serious the injury, he pushed himself to return to the set as fast as possible. Some injuries were visible. Some were hidden. During Police Story, Jackie performed a stunt that required him to slide down a pole covered with decorative lights. What he did not know was that the lights were connected to a high electrical current. As he slid, the electricity shocked him, and the heat burned the skin on his hands. He felt his palms burn to the bone, but he kept performing until the shot ended. The scene became one of the most famous moments of his career. Fans loved it, but they never saw how badly it hurt him afterward. These were only a few of his injuries. Over the years, Jackie broke or injured almost every part of his body. His ankles were damaged so many times that doctors had to insert screws to hold them together. He cracked his pelvis, injured his neck, and shattered his ribs multiple times. He dislocated his shoulders and damaged his knees from countless falls. At one point, he had so many scars that he joked he could show a full medical chart without taking off his clothes. But each scar came from a real moment of pain. His stunt team feared for him. They saw how much he pushed himself. Insurance companies even refused to cover him because he was considered too risky. No one wanted to take responsibility for an actor who performed dangerous stunts without hesitation. But Jackie didn't stop. He believed that real action required real danger. He wanted the audience to feel the impact and intensity of his moves, and he wanted them to know he did everything himself. As he grew older, the pain became more difficult to hide. His body never fully recovered from the years of injuries. He lived with chronic pain that followed him everywhere. He needed ice packs after almost every shoot. He spent hours doing physical therapy. His joints hurt when he woke up in the morning, and long flights made his body stiff. But he rarely talked about it. He smiled during interviews, made jokes, and acted like everything was normal. Only close friends and his stunt team knew how much he suffered. Jackie often said, "Pain is the price of honesty." What he meant was simple. When a stunt looked real, people believed in the story. If he used a double or special effects, the emotion would, to be weaker. He felt that his audience trusted him because they knew he never cheated. Because of this belief, he set very high standards for himself. And he also set high expectations for the people who worked with him. His stunt team trained for hours every day. They practiced movements again and again until they were perfect. Jackie demanded precision because the smallest mistake could cause serious injury. He cared about safety, but he also cared about realism. It was a difficult balance. Jackie understood that audiences saw only the final product, the laughter, the fast punches, the funny expressions. They did not see the bruises, the sprains, or the soreness that lasted for weeks. They did not see him limping back to his room after a long day on set. They did not see the nights when he could not sleep because his body hurt too much. They did not see the moments when he wondered how much longer his body could take this lifestyle. Still, he continued. He believed that action films should feel real, not forced. He wanted to give the audience something special, something that no other actor offered. That desire made him a legend, but also harmed him physically. His commitment to realism became both his greatest strength and his most dangerous weakness. Each movie pushed him further. Each stunt challenged his limit, and each injury left a mark that would stay with him forever. Jackie's attitude was shaped by his childhood training. At the opera school, he learned to ignore pain and follow instructions. He learned to continue even when he felt weak. Those lessons helped him survive the tough film world, but they also made him push himself too far. He did not know when to stop. He did not know how to rest. Working through pain became normal to him. By the time he reached his 40s and 50s, Jackie's body had gone through more than most athletes experience in a lifetime. But he was still performing stunts, still fighting, still jumping from buildings. His fans admired him, but they did not realize how close he came to serious injury many times. He made it look easy, but it was not easy at all. Behind the laughter and the success, Jackie carried pain that never fully left him. His body became a map of injuries, each one connected to a moment in his career, yet he accepted it. In his mind, this was the life he chose. This was the price he paid for entertaining millions of people. But as Jackie pushed the limits of his body, another battlefield was quietly tearing apart the battlefield of the heart. Jackie's life changed when he met Teresa Teng. She was one of the most loved singers in Asia, known for her soft voice, gentle nature, and calm personality. Jackie was the opposite. He lived in chaos, moved from set to set, and rarely rested. Teresa lived quietly, while Jackie lived loudly. But somehow, the two felt connected. Teresa brought a kind of peace that Jackie had never felt before. She spoke softly, listened carefully, and treated to him with a kindness he was not used to. Jackie later said that she had a calming effect on him, and that made him nervous because he felt he did not deserve someone like her. They spent time together in ways that felt simple and real. She liked to sit with him and talk about life. She sometimes cooked for him or sang quietly while he rested after a long shoot. Jackie was touched by how gentle she was, but inside, he felt insecure. He felt her life was too perfect and too peaceful for someone like him who grew up in noise, pain, and constant movement. Instead of feeling proud that she loved him, he felt unworthy. He didn't know how to accept calm love because he had never experienced it before. Their relationship began to fall apart slowly. Jackie became busier with his films. He traveled constantly, worked long hours, and rarely had time for her. She wanted stability, someone who came home regularly. Jackie could not give that. He did not know how to balance work and love. His emotional immaturity made things worse. When Teresa needed emotional support, Jackie often pulled away without meaning to. He thought she would simply wait for him, but she needed more than promises. The distance grew, and misunderstandings increased. Finally, Teresa wrote him a short goodbye letter. She explained her feelings, her pain, and her decision to leave. She did it gently, with respect. Jackie found the letter after she walked away. At that moment, he felt a mixture of shock and sadness. But he did not chase her. He told himself that she deserved better. Only years later did he realize that he had let go of someone who truly cared for him. He admitted that at that time, he did not understand how to love properly. After some time, Jackie's path crossed with Joan Lin, a famous actress from Taiwan. She had a different type of strength. She was calm, steady, and patient. Unlike Teresa's gentle softness, Joan had a quiet firmness. She understood Jackie's chaotic life and did not try to change him. She accepted him as he was. Their relationship grew slowly, built on friendship and understanding. Jackie felt comfortable with her because she did not pressure him. She offered emotional safety in a way he could handle. They married quietly in Los Angeles, away from reporters and attention. It was a small ceremony, simple and private. Soon after, their son, J.C. Chan, was born. Joan gave up her acting career at the peak of her success to focus on their family. She moved away from the public eye and chose a quiet life for the sake of their child. Jackie appreciated her sacrifice, but he was not home enough to see how much she carried alone. As Jackie's career expanded, his time at home became less. He worked all the time, traveling from one country to another. He believed he was doing the right thing by providing a good life, but he did not understand that Joan needed his presence more than his money. His work became an addiction. He felt responsible for every movie, every stunt, every crew member. His emotional distance grew without him realizing it. Joan never complained openly. She supported him quietly, but inside, she often felt lonely. In 1995, Jackie received news that shook him deeply. Teresa Teng had died suddenly at the age of 42 due to an asthma attack. The news hit him harder than he expected. Even though they had parted years ago, she still held a place in his heart. Jackie locked himself in his room and cried. He remembered her kindness, her patience, and her gentle presence. He realized he had taken that softness for granted. He felt regret for the way their relationship ended and for not understanding her value when she was alive. Teresa's death made him reflect on his life. He realized he had lost the woman who taught him what gentleness felt like, and he feared he might also lose Joan, the woman who offered him support and stability. He began to understand that love was not only about big actions, but about time, presence, and care. Jackie became more aware of how much Joan had sacrificed for him. He started seeing her not just as his wife, but as someone who held his world together silently. These thoughts stayed in his mind, shaping how he viewed relationships and family. He knew he had made many mistakes. He knew he had taken long absences that affected both his wife and his son. He regretted not being more emotionally available, but he also knew that he could not change the past. All he could do was try to be better in the future. This realization was painful, but it helped him grow. But the storm he feared most wasn't heartbreak. It was the scandal that nearly destroyed his family, his reputation, and himself. Jackie's greatest fall did not happen during a stunt. It happened in 1999 when news broke that he had an affair with former Miss Asia, Elaine Ng. She was pregnant, and the story exploded across Asia within hours. Newspapers printed his name in large letters. TV channels discussed it non-stop. Fans who had admired him for decades felt shocked and betrayed. Jackie had survived dangerous stunts and life-threatening injuries, but he was not prepared for the kind of pain this mistake would bring. He called it the biggest regret of his life. The media storm was harsh. Reporters waited outside his house. Cameras followed his every move. Headlines mocked him, questioned his character, and compared him to his on-screen heroes. For the first time, his fame worked against him. Millions of people judged him without knowing the whole story, and Jackie had to face the humiliation publicly and privately. His reputation suffered, and he felt he had ruined the trust he built over many years. During this time, Joan Lin's reaction surprised everyone. She did not shout, blame, or give emotional interviews. She did not try to defend herself or attack him. She chose silence. That silence was not weakness, it was strength. She stayed by his side without conditions. She protected their home from the noise of the outside world. Her quiet support became the biggest expression of love she ever gave him. Jackie later said that he owed her more than he could ever repay. Inside, Jackie carried guilt that grew heavier every day. He felt ashamed of himself as a husband and as a man. He struggled with his identity. The world saw him as a hero, but he saw himself as someone who had hurt the people who mattered most. He slipped into depression, avoided people, and questioned who he really was. He knew he had broken his wife's heart, but he did not know how to fix it. He felt trapped between fame, expectations, and the consequences of his own actions. While Jackie dealt with the scandal, his son JC was going through his own struggles. JC had grown up mostly with his mother. Jackie was always filming, traveling, or working. As a child, JC was proud to be Jackie Chan's son, but he often felt lonely. He never had regular time with his father. He did not share school moments, everyday routines, or the normal father-son connection that other children had. Over time, this distance created resentment. He once said that he did not feel like he truly knew his father. In 2014, JC was arrested in Beijing for drug possession. The news spread quickly, and Jackie felt deep pain when he heard it. He felt responsible, not because he caused it directly, but because he believed his absence created a gap in JC's life. He said, "He broke the law, but I broke something greater, our bond." Jackie wanted to help his son during this time, but he also felt that JC needed to learn from his mistake. Their relationship improved slightly after the incident, but the emotional distance never fully disappeared. They meet, talk, and appear together publicly, but there is still a quiet tension between them. Jackie's daughter, Etta Ng, born from the affair, faced even more difficulties. Her childhood was marked by abandonment and confusion. She grew up without a relationship with Jackie. The press labeled her as the hidden daughter or forgotten child. These labels hurt her deeply. She struggled with identity, mental health, and emotional stability. In 2018, she posted a viral video saying she and her girlfriend had been homeless for a month. She said no one was helping them, not even her parents. The video shocked the world. Jackie did not respond publicly. Many people judged him for remaining silent, but his silence came from emotional paralysis more than indifference. He had been away from her life for so long that he did not know how to approach her. He felt that anything he said would create more pain or more media pressure on her. But silence also created distance, and the public criticized him harshly. The situation showed the deep scars left by choices he made decades earlier. These experiences forced Jackie to reflect on fatherhood. He admitted that he did not understand how important time was. He could replace money, success, and awards, but he could not replace the moments he lost with his children. He missed birthdays, school events, family dinners, and simple conversations. He said once, "I broke time itself," meaning he broke the one thing that can never be repaired. His children grew older while he was away building his career, and no amount of regret could bring those years back. Jackie realized that he had saved many lives on screen, but he did not know how to save the relationships in his own home. He was strong enough to jump off buildings, but not strong enough to face emotional pain. Fame gave him everything he dreamed of, but it also created a wall between him and his family. His actions added cracks to that wall, and the consequences stayed with him long after the scandals ended. These emotional wounds shaped the second half of his life. They changed how he saw success. They changed how he saw love. They changed how he saw himself. Jackie understood that being a hero on screen did not make him a hero at home. He accepted his mistakes, but he also carried the weight of them quietly. He tried to make better choices. He tried to be more present. He tried to be more honest. But he also knew that some wounds could heal slowly or never fully heal at all. After losing the things that mattered most, Jackie would discover that the path to redemption was not in the spotlight, but in the quiet hours of dawn. At 71, Jackie Chan lives a life very different from the one he knew in his younger years. His home in Beijing is quiet and simple. He likes to wake up early, long before most people. He starts his mornings with light training, not to prepare for a stunt, but to keep his body moving. He believes that movement keeps him alive. After training, he sometimes walks near his koi ponds and watches the fish swim slowly. These quiet moments give him peace, something he did not have for most of his life. His home is not filled with loud noise or big crowds. It is a place where he can breathe, think, and enjoy the time he has earned. Jackie also has a home in Beverly Hills, a large mansion he bought during the height of his Hollywood success. He has a yacht and several luxury cars, but he does not show them off or use them for attention. To him, these things are symbols of his journey. They remind him of how far he came from the days when he had nothing, not even enough money to buy food. He once said that these objects are not about pride, they are about memory. Each one reminds him of a time when he worked so hard that he thought he would break. They represent survival, not vanity. One of Jackie's quiet passions is collecting watches. He owns several rare and expensive ones. But for him, the watches are not about luxury, they are about time. He has often said that time is the one thing no one can buy. A watch reminds him that every second is important. It reminds him that time passed by quickly when he was younger, and he did not always use it wisely. Now, each watch has meaning. It represents the hours he spent healing, the minutes he spent reflecting, and the seconds he lost with people he loved. Time, to him, is the biggest teacher. Jackie has said many times that he will not leave his fortune to his children. Instead, he plans to donate most of it to charity. He believes that his children should earn their own success and learn independence just as he did. He does not want money to become a burden or a problem. He wants it to help people who need it. Through the Dragon's Heart Foundation and the Jackie Chan Charitable Foundation, he has helped build schools in poor areas, given scholarships to students, and supported families after natural disasters. These acts of charity are not for publicity. They are part of his own healing. He feels that giving back is one way to repay the world for the opportunities he received. Jackie's relationship with his fans is special. He knows that without them, he would not be where he is. Every year, he records simple, warm videos, wishing them health and happiness. He thanks them for supporting him across decades. There are no special effects, no bright studio lights, just Jackie speaking honestly from his home. Fans around the world appreciate this sincerity. Even after more than 50 years in the industry, he remains humble. He does not act like a legend. He acts like a grateful man who knows how lucky he is. In his later years, Joan Lin has become the steady heart of his home. She no longer appears in public, but she remains his source of calm. She is the person who helped him through his darkest mistakes and stood with him during storms that could have destroyed their family. Jackie describes her as the quiet strength that keeps him balanced. They spend their days peacefully, often in silence, but it is a comfortable silence. It is the kind that comes from understanding and forgiveness. Joan's presence reminds him of what truly matters in a life full of noise. Jackie's philosophy has changed a lot over the years. Today, he believes that fame is temporary. He says that fame is borrowed, meaning it does not belong to anyone forever. People celebrate you one day and forget you the next. But goodness, he says, is permanent. The kind things you do for others stay in the world long after your name fades. He also believes that movement is essential, not physical movement alone, but emotional and mental movement too. Staying active, learning new things, and improving yourself are ways to stay alive even as you grow older. He often reflects on his life, especially the things he regrets. He regrets not spending enough time with his children. He regrets letting work control him. He regrets the mistakes that hurt people close to him. But he also cherishes his achievements. He is proud of the films that shaped generations. He is proud of the risks he took and the challenges he overcame. He wishes he could change some moments, but he accepts that every decision shaped who he is now. In his later years, Jackie has become more of a mentor than a stunt performer. Younger actors and filmmakers look up to him. He encourages them to value discipline, honesty, and respect. He advises them to focus on their craft rather than chasing quick fame. He tells them that true success comes from effort, not shortcuts. He speaks with the wisdom of someone who has lived through extremes, extreme danger, extreme fame, extreme regret, and extreme growth. Jackie also has a message for the world. He says that courage is not about being fearless. It is about continuing even when you feel scared. Pain is not something to hide from. It teaches you strength. Forgiveness is not weakness. It brings peace. And aging is not something to fear. It is a chance to understand life more deeply. He wants people to know that no matter how hard the past was, it is never too late to change, to heal, and to become kinder. Now, as he enjoys quiet days with Joan and stays connected with his fans, Jackie finally understands what matters most. Not the stunts, not the fame, not the applause, but the heart you leave behind. He has learned that success is not measured by how high you climb, but by how gently you live once you reach the top. But the truest legacy of Jackie Chan isn't in the stunts he performed or the fortunes he built. It lies in the question he leaves behind for all of us. When the lights finally fade, what remains of a life lived at the edge of fear and the heart of courage?